My life's going to change. Your life's going to change. You got to make that decision leaving this place. So no more wants. Moving forward.
We want to go distance ourselves from our friends and family because we have dreams. You go, boom. That hurt right now. But watch. Many of you, you have not only one, you have not only two. So one represents your mom, one represents your wife or ex or friend or peer or cousin, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. These are all people that are holding you back. Now watch. Watch how hard this is.
One of the scariest things about life is a question. The scary question can shake a soul up because no one's asked that question. So for me, the transition for somebody to want to change it and get clarity is actually asking questions.
This hand represents you. This hand represents your friends and family. This is you saying, I want to go do something big with my life. You go, but your friend's like, wait a minute, come back down here. What are you doing? You come back down. No, mom, dad, I'm so sick and tired of being broke. Son, come back down here. We're not special. We're just regular friends. You think you're going to be a millionaire one day? And you keep going. Eventually, when you try to go, the tension gets harder. It's so difficult to break away because if you do, it's going to snap. So this is you and I. We want to go distance ourselves from our friends and family because we have dreams. You go, boom. That hurt right now. But watch. Many of you, you have not only one, you have not only two. So one represents your mom, one represents your wife or ex or friend or peer or cousin, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. These are all people that are holding you back. Now watch. Watch how hard this is. I want to go. You can't, right? It's a very strong power that they have on you when they hold you back. But if one by one, you show that you want to go out there and win big, eventually they're going to realize how serious you are.
Here's the difference between will and want. Go to you. How many adults use the following sentence? I want to have a big house. No one cares. I want to be rich so I can retire my parents. Weak word. I want to be pampered for the rest of my life. No one cares. I want a nice car. Who cares? I want to have a house in the corner lot. Want has zero weight behind it. Starts with the same letter, same amount of words, 4 letters, same amount of letters, 4. One has power, the other has no power. 2001 would make me how old? 22 years old. I'm broke. You have no idea how broke I am. The camera goes on me, and here's what this crazy 21, 22-year-old kid says here. If you can play this video.
Mark my words, by the time this year is over, next year this time, we'll hit at least 6 figure or more. And anybody that comes to my team will get close to 6 figure or more.
I'm 22 years old when I said that, right? Do you know when I walked away, what happened after I said that? I lost everything. That's what's crazy. I'm sitting there, I'm going through all this stuff. My friends invite me to this club in Burbank, and my friend Armin, he comes up to me. He says, hey, where is the 6 figures? Where's the millions, Pat? All the friends are looking at me. It's the joke. There's the dreamer. Where's the millions, Pat? Where's the millions, Pat? That's why you're afraid to say, I will. I read a quote the other day by Denzel. Your own family will talk shit about you when you're in the process of breaking all the generational curses. This ain't for the weak. This ain't for the weak. Some of you guys got some generational curses that you haven't broken yet. Let's address some of the generational curses. What are some of them? Drugs, gambling, alcohol, weed, abuse, poverty, fear of God, victimhood mentality. Every family has it. But eventually somebody has to change it. So for you, this whole word about will and want, what word are you using? Were you afraid to do the video? Why are you afraid of the video? Because God forbid if you go on social media and you say, mark my word, my family will become financially free. And you post that. And you don't, then you delete it, but your friends and family sees it and they laugh at you. You're afraid of being laughed at. So you play safe. You play safe. You don't want to go to these gatherings. I guarantee you the world's going to know your last name. The world's going to know what you did for this family. And by the way, I didn't say this when I was a millionaire. I said this when I was making $50 a year. It doesn't matter if I say it today. No one cares. What matters is when I said it when I was 22, when I was a nobody. I didn't have a follower on social media. There was no value to me. I didn't have $100 in my account. Nothing at that time. Going back to you. Last night I told you, George put this entire meeting together for who? You. And only you. Yes, say it again. George put this meeting together for me. This is my meeting. My life's gonna change. Your life's gonna change. You gotta make that decision leaving this place. So no more want. Moving forward. Everybody around you, that's your blood. That's your family. That's in your base shop. That's on your team. Every time they use the word want, change it. Stop them right there. Can I challenge you? Yes. Let's change that word to will. Change it to will. I will. We will. We will. I will. It's a powerful word.
In life, I've lost many, many times. Let me tell you, many times. I've had girlfriends break up with me. I've had companies tell me they don't want to do business with me. I've had an employee tell me they don't want to be with me. I've had salespeople that have quit on me. I've had so many people that I've had losses with. I've competed against people that are inferior than me, and I lost to them because they had better work ethic than me. And I thought because I had some talent at the time I was going to beat them. No way in the world. That guy worked harder than me. And I've also competed against guys that were superior than me, and I worked my butt off, and I still lost. I still lost with the guy that was ahead of me. What happened there? I worked my ass off and I still lost. Yes, that also happens. It's called a loss. It hurts. It's embarrassing. You come home. Your wife or your girlfriend wants to make you feel good, but you know you lost. And it doesn't feel good. Your peers are looking at you. Your competitors are looking at you. The smirk that competitor is going to have when they give you a high five or they shake their hand to kind of say good luck to you next time. You know that look still says that I beat you. That hurts. A girl breaks up with you. That hurts. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. In that moment, you will have a temptation. It's the biggest temptation in life. It's the most dangerous temptation in life. It's the most powerful temptation in life. Let me tell you what it is. In that moment, you will have the choice of either blaming something on the outside or taking full responsibility. That temptation is so subtle, no one knows it. No one knows it. I have led thousands of salespeople that I've worked with. And I've seen some of them keep growing. One guy went from 30 grand a year to 50 grand a year to 100 grand a year to 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 $1 million a year income. Well, they had a lot of drama. Fast in 3 years. What happened to them? They never blamed. They always took responsibility. They never blamed. And I've had people that are 10 times more talented. Every 6 months, they have some kind of a subtle stop. You know why? Because they blame the different circumstance. Well, because of this, because it's this person's fault, that person's fault, this person's fault. Look, in life, it's going to be very easy for you to blame everybody. Very easy for you to blame everybody. But one day you'll sit down and people will say, how come you didn't make it bigger in life? You were very talented. What happened there? You can make up any BS and sell them because typically people who are good at blaming other people are great salespeople. You can blame everybody else. But there's one person that's going to know that you didn't take responsibility, and that's you. That's a tough one to live with.
One of the scariest things about life is a question. The scary question can shake a soul up because no one's asked that question from you. So for me, the transition for somebody to want to change it and get clarity is actually asking questions. If you don't ask the questions of what you want to do next, the world is going to put you in the box on what you have to do next because they're determining who you need to be. And you are rising up to their expectations because you're not asking the questions yourself. So clarity to me is stemmed from you being able to sit down and ask those tough questions that piss you off, that irritate you, that make you emotional, that you cry over, that you reflect, that makes you want to do research, that makes you follow up, that makes you sit down and say, I don't really know. I've never thought about this before. And that goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So clarity is stemmed based on, like the way you answered the question to me, Tom, it was amazing. So do you have any kids? No, we made a decision a long time ago. We didn't want to have kids. The way you said it was like very nonchalant. Really? It was so like, yeah, that's what we did. Then I said, so tell me how you processed it. It's very obvious that was a very comfortable, certain decision with a lot of time put into it. Very few people do that. And then you got clarity, and clarity gives confidence. So somebody looks at your eyes when you give the answer, there is no, looking away or uncomfortable or anything. You're like, this is who we are. This is the decision we made. But that clarity came from all the conversations you and your wife had together. I don't think enough people do that together.
Success secret number 6. Develop a workaholic mentality. All self-made millionaires work hard, hard, hard. They start earlier, they work harder, and they stay later. They develop a reputation for being amongst the hardest working people in their fields, and everybody knows it. Practice the 40-plus formula. This formula says that you work 40 hours per week for survival. Everything over 40 hours is for success. If you only work 40 hours, and the average work week today is closer to 35 hours, all you will ever do is survive. You'll never get ahead. You'll never be a big financial success. You'll never be highly respected and esteemed by your colleagues. You will always be mediocre if you just work the basic 40-hour week. But every hour over 40 is an investment in your future. In fact, you can tell where you're going to be in 5 years by looking at how many hours over 40 you put in every week. The average self-made millionaire in America today works 59 hours per week, and some of them work 70 and 80 hours per week. The average self-made millionaire in America works 6 days per week rather than 5, and works longer days as well. If you want to call a self-made millionaire, phone the office before normal working hours and after normal working hours. The self-made millionaire is usually there when the staff arrives and is still there working when they leave. And here's the key. Work all the time you work. When you work, don't waste time. When you get in early, put your head down and get started immediately. When people want to talk to you, you excuse yourself and say, I have to get back to work. Don't drop off your dry cleaning, phone your friends, socialize with your coworkers, or read the newspaper. Work all the time you work. Resolve today to develop the reputation for being the hardest working person in your company. This will bring you to the attention of people who can help you faster than almost anything else you can do.
It's so easy to go and look at what other people do badly. But one of the leadership characteristics of vision that he showed me, and I'll never forget it, is look for the good in what other people are doing and apply it. It doesn't take a genius IQ or 20 years of experience to find the possibility in every situation. All it takes is the right attitude, and anybody can cultivate that. Dream one size bigger. One of the best ways to cultivate a possibility mindset is to prompt yourself to dream one size bigger than you normally do. Let's face it, most people dream too small. They don't think big enough. Henry Curtis advises, make your plans as fantastic as you like, because 25 years from now, they will seem mediocre. Make your plans 10 times as great as you first planned, and 25 years from now, you will wonder why you did not make them 50 times as great. If you push yourself to dream more expansively, to imagine your organization one size bigger, to make your goals at least a step beyond what makes you comfortable, you will be forced to grow. And it will set you up to believe in greater possibilities. Question the status quo. Most people want their lives to keep improving, yet they value peace and stability at the same time. People often forget that you can't improve and still stay the same. Growth means change. Change requires challenging the status quo. If you want greater possibilities, you can't settle for what you have now. When you become a possibility thinker, you will face many people who will want you to give up your dreams and embrace the status quo. Achievers refuse to accept the status quo. As you begin to explore greater possibilities for yourself, your organization, or your family, and others challenge you for it, take comfort in knowing that right now as you read this, other possibility thinkers across the country and around the world are thinking about curing cancer, developing new energy sources, feeding hungry people, and improving quality of life. They are challenging the status quo against the odds. And you should too.
You are going to need vision. Before you win, you're going to have to see it. I want you to see yourself winning. If you can see it, you can have it. You are alive by design. And the moment that you understand that design, your future awaits. You only have so much time to get it done.
You have to want something so big that it wakes you up in the middle of the night. You have to want something so big that you think about it all the time. You have to want something so big that it drives you to wake up when you don't want to. It keeps you up at night when you long been sleeping. It makes you show up, do things you wouldn't normally do.
When we gonna talk about realizing your potential and waking up every day and giving me 120%? So I need you to do me a favor. I need your whys. Come on, what's your why? I need you to look at them every day, think about them every day, let them fuel you every day.
Turn the lights on when I'm talking to you, because I said they didn't realize that every setback of your life, they didn't realize that every bad day of your life, they didn't realize that every sad day of your life, they didn't realize that every so-called failure, disaster, missed opportunity, a tragedy was just a building block of strategy. And the agony, the pain, the heartache, the misery was put in place to give you the strength to rewrite history.
It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. It takes courage to get you outside of the box. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around?
Do it. The doubt is there, but you do it anyway. But doubt gets out of the way when you express courage. You're doing things that you don't know how to do. You're stepping out in faith. You're being courageous. Your self-doubt will step out of the way. Follow your heart and you'll enjoy this journey of life. It won't always be easy, but it'll be yours. And there's no greater pleasure than a life of your own design. You know what to do, dude. Go fucking do it.
One of the greatest inventors and philosophers of our time, Buckminster Fuller, said, "The purpose of our lives is to add value to the people of this generation and those that follow." We each came to this earth with natural talents, things we're just naturally good at. These gifts were given to you for a reason, to use and share with others. Research shows that the happiest people are those who use their natural talents to the utmost. Part of your mission in life, then, must be to share your gifts and value with as many people as possible. That means being willing to play big. Do you know the definition of an entrepreneur? The definition we use in our program is a person who solves problems for people at a profit. That's right. An entrepreneur is nothing more than a problem solver. So I ask you, would you rather solve problems for more people or fewer people? If you replied more, then you need to start thinking bigger and decide to help massive numbers of people, thousands, even millions. The byproduct is that the more people you help, the richer you become, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and definitely financially. Make no mistake, every person on this planet has a mission. If you are living right now, there's a reason for it. Richard Bach, in his book Jonathan Livingston Seagull, is asked, "How will I know when I've completed my mission?" The answer? If you are still breathing, you are not done. What I have witnessed is too many people not doing their job, not fulfilling their duty, or dharma as it's called in Sanskrit. I watched too many people playing far too small and too many people allowing their fear-based ego selves to rule them. The result is that too many of us are not living up to our full potential, in terms of both our own lives and our contribution to others? It comes down to this. If not you, then who? Again, everyone has his or her unique purpose. Maybe you're a real estate investor and buy properties to rent them out and make money on cash flow and appreciation. What's your mission? How do you help? There's a good chance you add value to your community by helping families find affordable housing they may not otherwise be able to find. Now the question is, how many families and people can you assist? Are you willing to help 10 instead of 1? 20 instead of 10? 100 instead of 20? This is what I mean by playing big. In her wonderful book, A Return to Love, author Marianne Williamson puts it this way. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us. It is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. The world doesn't need more people playing small. It's time to stop hiding out and start stepping out. It's time to stop needing and start leading. It's time to start sharing your gifts instead of hoarding them or pretending they don't exist. It's time you started playing the game of life in a big way. In the end, small thinking and small actions lead to being both broke and unfulfilled. Big thinking and big action lead to having both money and meaning. The choice is yours.
As human beings, it's difficult, since we tend to take ourselves for granted, to realize that we are greater than our creations, economics, and all other so-called civilized artifacts. We have powers which transcend the things we've created. It takes something more, and that something more can be found in the statement that people are formed by their thoughts, that they become what they think.
So we don't know where thoughts come from. We don't know how far down into your substructure the thoughts emerge. We don't know what processes of physiological alignment are necessary for you to speak from the core of your being. We don't understand any of that. We don't even conceptualize that, but I believe that you can feel that, and there's a lot of idea of alignment in psychoanalytic and clinical thinking. You're mostly dead wood. It's a shock. And you might think, well, do you really want all of that to burn off? It's like, well, there's nothing left but a little husk, 5% of you. It's like, well, if that 5% is solid, then maybe that's exactly what you want to have happen.
Ordinary just simply isn't enough. Ordinary is when you want to become average and to fit in. But to get to extraordinary, what you do is you have to consult the invisible place within yourself. And this is called your soul. The ideal of the soul is space, immensity. The one thing your soul needs is to be free. Free to expand and reach out and to embrace the infinite. Yes, the ideal of the soul is infinity. It is miserable when it is circumscribed and restricted. It is a fragment of the universal soul, which is infinite. And what we have to do in order to get to that place where we can take the keys and unlock the self-imposed prisons, or the prisons that we have given ourselves on the basis of what we have come to believe is our limitations, what we can and can't do. We have to let go of that. And I call it rewriting our agreement with reality. We literally have to make a whole new contract with what it is that I perceive to be what is possible for me. All things are possible. God never fails, and you are a piece of that which never fails.
We can look at developing ourselves spiritually, physically, and mentally. With respect to our spiritual development, this may be a major or a minor issue for you depending on your values and your goals. But I think it's very wise for you and me to look at the spiritual side of our lives and decide what growth we want to experience here. Come to your own decisions as to what it will take to nourish your spiritual nature. There's another Bible phrase that says, take care of the outside for people and take care of the inside for God. People look on the outside and God looks on the inside.
Thought power, its laws and its dynamics. Thought, the architect of destiny. If the mind dwells continually upon one train of thought, a groove is formed into which the thought force runs automatically, and such a habit of thought survives death, and since it belongs to the ego, is carried over to the subsequent earth life as a thought tendency and capacity. Every thought, it must be remembered, has got its own mental image. The essence of the various mental images formed in one particular physical life is being worked out in the mental plane. It constitutes the basis for the next physical life. Just as a new physical body is formed in every birth, so also a new mind and a new buddhi are formed in every birth. Not easy is the act of explaining the detailed workings of thought and destiny. Every karma produces twofold effect, one on the individual mind and the other on the world. Man makes the circumstances of his future life by the effect of his actions upon others. Every action has a past which leads up to it. Every action has a future which proceeds from it. An action implies a desire which prompted it, and a thought which shaped it. Each thought is a link in an endless chain of causes and effects, each effect becoming a cause, and each cause having been an effect. And each link in the endless chain is welded out of three components: desire, thought, and activity. A desire stimulates a thought. A thought embodies itself as an act. Act constitutes the web of destiny. Selfish coveting of the possessions of others, though never carried out into active cheating in the present, makes one a thief in a later earth life, while hatred and revenge, secretly cherished, are the seeds from which the murderer springs. So again, unselfish loving yields as harvest the philanthropist and the saint, and every thought of compassion helps to build the tender and pitiful nature which belongs to one who is a friend to all creatures. Sage Vasishtha asks Rama to do Purushartha, or show the prowess of self-exertion. Do not yield to fatalism. It will induce inertia and laziness. Recognize the great powers of thought. Exert. By right thinking, make for yourself a great destiny. Prarabdha is Purushartha of last birth. You sow an action and reap a habit. A habit sown results in character. You sow a character and reap a destiny. Man is the master of his own destiny. You yourself make, by the power of your thought, your destiny. You can undo it if you like. All faculties, energies, and powers are latent in you. Unfold them and become free and great.
If you do that, every door of opportunity will open for you. Your self-confidence will go up. People will admire you and respect you. Your employers will open doors for you. It's the most amazing thing. And yet only 10% of the population knows this.
What is really important is the person you have to become a self-made millionaire. You have to become a totally different human being. In order to achieve something you've never achieved before, you have to become someone you've never been before.
I mean, it's the most amazing thing. And it is true, and it has been true for thousands of years. And it is the great secret of success.
It basically starts off with yourself. It is your level of self-esteem, which translates into your level of self-confidence, is the starting point of success. If you like and respect yourself, you will set big goals for yourself. And if you like and respect yourself, you will persist longer, and you'll eventually succeed. And so how you feel, your emotions about yourself, is the starting point and the most important part of success. And so the goal of children, the goal of parents, is to raise children with high levels of self-confidence and self-esteem. Your goal as an adult is to build your own self-esteem, your own mental fitness. Like physical fitness requires physical exercise, mental fitness, feeling very positive about yourself and your life, requires mental exercise. Now, what I discovered, which was one of the most important things of all, is that self-esteem, the other side of self-esteem, is called self-efficacy, which is a word that means that you are good at what you do. So therefore, when you work to become better in your field, whatever you're doing, whether it's in school or in your job, you feel more confident and more positive about yourself. So the more you like yourself, the better you become. And the better you become, the more you like yourself. So you can actually get onto an upward spiral. Which brings us to your subject of success for young people. The key to success is very simple. I've written 2 books on this. Is you must become very good at doing something that is important and valuable to an employer. You must become very good at it. There are no successful people who are average. And it takes a long time to become very good at something. Even if it's to be a gardener, or an interviewer, or a speaker. It takes a long time to become good at it. But you must be determined from the beginning to work extra hours to become very good at the work that you do. If you do that, every door of opportunity will open for you. Your self-confidence will go up. People will admire you and respect you. Your employers will open doors for you. It's the most amazing thing. And yet only 10% of the population knows this.
One of the things that I learned, by the way, is that becoming a self-made millionaire is not the important thing. What is really important is the person you have to become a self-made millionaire. You have to become a totally different human being. One of my friends says that in order to achieve something you've never achieved before, you have to become someone you've never been before. And it's a really important insight, is the qualities that you need to develop, qualities on the inside to become a self-made millionaire, are incredible qualities that make you a vastly better person. Not only better in terms of character, determination, discipline, decision-making, strength, and so on, but they make you a far better person. They round out your character in a far better way. So the real payoff of becoming wealthy is not because you can eat more, because how many more meals can you eat? How many more clothes can you wear? But it's the kind of person that you become, and then the kind of people that you associate, the kind of life that you have. And so the things that we're going to talk about now, and I know that you're some of the smartest people in our country, so I'm going to give you these ideas very quickly, like dealing cards. What I found in my research is that there's a series of qualities that self-made millionaires have. If you have these qualities, your success is virtually guaranteed. And if you don't have these qualities, the qualities are learnable. Point number 1 is that all business or sales skills are learnable. All financial skills are learnable. If you can drive a car, you can learn any skill. If you can drive a car, you can learn the skill. Now, number 2 is you're probably only 1 skill away from doubling your income right now. You're probably only 1 skill away from setting yourself on the road to becoming a self-made millionaire. That turns out to be the case for almost everyone. And if you don't know what that skill is, maybe over the course of the time we spend together, it'll jump out at you. But whatever it is, you've got to find it out and go to work on it, because it is learnable. It's a learnable skill. People say, well, I've never been very good with money. Well, get over it. The fact of the matter is, you can learn what you need to learn to achieve anything that you want to achieve.
Clarity is my favorite word in success. It's my favorite word in business. I have done consulting for more than 1,000 corporations, large companies worldwide, companies like IBM and General Motors and PepsiCo and Bank of America. I mean, big companies. And I've also worked with more than 10,000 small and medium-sized companies. And what I found is in every single situation, problems occur when the company becomes unclear about what it is they're doing or how it is they're doing it. And so I've developed a program which is really just a fun program for me intellectually. It's called the 2-Day MBA. And it shows 10 different factors of a company. And these are the ones that I learned when I went to university, back to university in my 30s. And I find that all problems come from lack of clarity. What is your product? It's the first question you ask. Who is your customer? What does your customer consider to be more valuable than anything else? How are you superior to your competitors? What can you do to attract more customers? What can you do to close those customers? I'll come to this in a second, but basically it's clarity, lack of clarity. Now here's something else I learned, and they did a study of 50 owners of companies, successful owners of companies like yourselves. And they asked them, what is the very best time management or business tool that you've ever discovered? 49 out of the 50 held up a yellow writing pad. Yellow writing pad, sort of like this. And this is what they did. This is how they planned their day. They made a list, to-do list. Today's date, they wrote down everything they had to do. They always work from a list. Always work from a list. Always work from a list. If you don't work from a list, it's very much like taking your hands off the wheel of your car going down a winding road in the mountains. What happens is your life's going to go up and you're instantly going to start doing irrelevant and unimportant and useless things. And at the end of the day, you'll be exhausted and you'll have accomplished nothing. In life, every person has a turning point, and the turning point comes when you set upon a major goal. When you decide upon a major goal, and since you're going to be working for money in business all your life, you might as well set a goal to earn a lot of money. You see, in life, you can earn a lot or you can earn a little. And if you have a choice, I recommend to you that you choose a lot. Okay? Because if you don't choose a lot, by default, you automatically get a little. And there's 80% of the population out there is wandering around and complaining about successful people. Wah, 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 life's not fair, and so on. No, because once you are clear about your goal, you start to see all kinds of opportunities, things that you can do that you hadn't thought of doing, that move you faster toward the goal and move the goal toward you. You activate this field of magnetism and you start to attract into your life people and circumstances who help you to achieve the goal, and you help to achieve their goals. I mean, it's the most amazing thing. And it is true, and it has been true for thousands of years, and it is the great secret of success.
Become more confident and competent. We develop the confidence to tackle larger goals by applying our energies to the accomplishment of smaller goals. We build up our confidence as we move forward until we reach the point where there is nothing that we won't take on. In fact, the habit of setting and achieving ever larger goals is absolutely indispensable to the development of ever higher levels of self-confidence and personal power. You can only really believe in yourself when you absolutely know that you have the ability to do what you set out to do. True self-confidence comes not from positive wishing or positive hoping or positive thinking. It comes from positive knowing, based on having proven to yourself over and over again that you have what it takes to get from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. Self-confidence is a state of mind. It is an attitude. And as an attitude, it is more important than facts. But it must be based on facts to be the kind of self-confidence that you can rely upon in a crunch. Your job is to do whatever it takes to convince yourself in your heart that you are absolutely unstoppable and that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Thought is creative. If self-confidence is an attitude of mind, it is based on mental principles and mental laws. foremost amongst which is thought is creative. You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. As you systematically and deliberately change your thinking about yourself, your outer reality changes to conform with it. Your thoughts create your life, including and especially your thoughts with regard to your feelings of self-confidence. The reason why goals are so important is because of these mental laws, the consequences of which are inevitable and inescapable. You are happy and successful to the degree to which you conform your life and your thinking to these laws and live in harmony with them. The first law, which we have already discussed, is the law of cause and effect. This law is so simple and powerful that you need to remind yourself of it all the time. Everything that happens in your life, success or failure, wealth or poverty, health or illness, happiness or unhappiness, self-confidence or insecurity, are all subject to this law. The Bible teaches this basic law as the principle of sowing and reaping. It says that whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap. This especially refers to the thoughts you think. If you sow positive, optimistic, uplifting thoughts in your mind, you will reap positive, optimistic, uplifting events and experiences in your life. And it cannot be otherwise. If you sow clear goals and objectives in your mind, you will reap clear results and rewards in your outer life. The law of attraction. A corollary of the law of cause and effect is the law of attraction. This is one of the most important of all mental laws in explaining what happens to you. This law says that like attracts like. It says that you inevitably attract into your life the people, ideas, circumstances, and opportunities that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Just like a magnet attracts iron filings, you attract whatever is consistent with whatever you are thinking about most of the time. Because this is a law, you cannot think one thing and attract something else. Whatever you are thinking about most of the time, you are drawing into your life from all directions. This is why fuzzy goals bring fuzzy results. Clear goals bring clear results. And since your level of self-confidence is directly tied to how effective you feel you are in achieving your goals, it's very important that you know exactly what it is you want and that you think of nothing else.
It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be knowledgeable.
So whenever you're confronted with an opportunity to do something different, your natural response, which is taking you out of your comfort zone, I can't. And as adults, whenever we're presented with a new opportunity, a new possibility, a book, a tape, a course, a job, a promotion, the first thing, I can't. Come up here and speak to the group. Oh, God, I can't.
In this weak, watered down, mediocre society that we live in today, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got the courage to say, after all I've been through, and all my ancestors have been through, and all my parents have been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in with normalcy. I have the courage to go after my dream. It takes courage.
If you're doing something 8 hours a day that you don't like, it's not giving you what you want, it's not giving you a strong feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment, you're miserable, you hate to go there, you're depressed just thinking about it, you sing the Thank God It's Friday song every week, if that's what it is, you owe it to yourself to start strategically working to change directions.
As C.S. Lewis said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. People look at their past to decide who they are. People look at their past to decide who they can be. But the problem is, oftentimes, people mistake difficulties, suffering, pain, for being bad, being less than, being broken, and it erodes their sense of self-esteem. It erodes their sense of self-worth. But nothing could be more opposite from the truth, because in reality, no matter what you've gone through, no matter how hard it was, all of it was shaping you into the person that you can become. The hardships, the difficulties, the pain, the suffering, all of that makes you tougher. It is literally in the difficulties that you begin to find just how much you're capable of.
You've got genius in you. You've got goodness in you. You've got creativeness in you. If you decide to take the initiative to change the current quality of your life, I say to you that you will find that the universe is on your side, that life is on your side.
That great player pushes his body past the limit. He leaves every single drop of blood on the field. And whatever he does in life, he knows he's going to have to dig deep inside his soul to bring out that king, to bring out that legend, to bring out that power that lays in every single one of us.
As you begin to develop and expand your skills and your talents and your vision of yourself, you will always be in control of your destiny.
Your biology, your neurochemistry, your neurohormones, your genes, everything stays the same because you're the same. So crisis and trauma is always the thing that gets a person to really start looking at, how do I really change, right? So we want to tell people, let's not wait for that. Mm-hmm. Let's learn and change in a state of growth and inspiration. So if you keep doing those same things over and over again, the middle life period, we become very, very programmable. So in order for us to change, we have to become conscious of how we think. We have to become really aware of how we behave, what our habits are, even how we speak. Now, this is a tough one. We have to really look at the emotions that we live by every single day and say, wow, this actually could be unworthiness. This could actually be guilt. But if you're too busy with your cell phone and your social media, and you're too busy with your kids and running around and your environment can distract you from these feelings. So my interest is to get people to retreat from their lives, right? Just for 5-7 days and remove the constant stimulation in their external environment that reminds them of who they think they are as a personality, to separate themselves from the people they know and the places they go and the things they do at the exact same time, and then fill their brain with knowledge and information, and then remind them that they're actually creating their life. So if your personality creates your personal reality, that means then in order for you to change your personal reality, you got to change your personality.
Visualize or imagine yourself having or doing or being what you are working toward. Fill in all the details. Feel, see, taste, touch, hear. Notice other people's reactions to your new state, and make it all okay with you no matter what their reactions are. Exercise. Expand your knowledge. Read everything you can to expand your awareness and understanding of how the mind works. There is so much knowledge out there for you. This is only one step on your pathway. Get other viewpoints. Hear other people say it in a different way. Study with a group for a while until you go beyond them. This is a life work. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you practice and apply, the better you get to feel, and the more wonderful your life will be. Doing this work makes you feel good. Begin to demonstrate results. Practicing as many of these methods as you can, you will begin to demonstrate results. You will see the little miracles occur in your life. The things you are ready to eliminate will go of their own accord. The things and events you want will pop up in your life seemingly out of the blue. You will get bonuses you never imagined.
If you keep up your present disciplines and keep up the present pace that you're on, where will you be in 5 years? Boy, it's easy to say, hey, I haven't really thought about that. So now make this note. In 5 years, here's the probability. You will either arrive at a well-designed destination or an undesigned destination. Well-designed or undesigned. And I promise you, 5 years from now, you really don't want to arrive at an undesigned destination. Because you may very well wind up wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, living where you don't want to live, maybe doing what you don't want to do. Simply because you didn't design a better destination. Neglect starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. And one neglect leads to another. And the worst of all, when neglect starts, it diminishes our self-worth, our self-confidence, our self-value. You say, well, how can I get back my self-respect? I'm telling you, you don't have to go to 29 classes. All you have to do is start the smallest discipline that now corresponds to your own philosophy, like I should, and I could, and I will. No longer will I let neglect stack up on me so that I will have the sorry scenario 6 years from now, giving some excuse instead of celebrating my progress. That's the key to discipline. Okay? Self-reliance is basically counting on yourself, taking responsibility for whatever happens to you, knowing that you have consciously made the decisions that are now affecting you, knowing that what is happening now, today, is the direct result of your activity, what you did yesterday. Now, being self-reliant doesn't mean you can't work with others or trust others. Self-reliance means counting on yourself, trusting yourself, being confident with yourself, being responsible to yourself, trusting your own instincts, trusting the conclusions that you have developed from your study of experiences and philosophies, taking the credit that is due you, learning from the mistakes that you have made, being self-reliant. Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances, to rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours, that would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you, and in you, the variable, it'll make a difference.
Notice how you feel. If you are hesitant, resistant, or just don't want to change, ask yourself why. What old belief are you holding on to? This is not a time to scold yourself. Just notice what is going on and what belief rises to the surface. That is the one that has been causing you a lot of trouble. Can you recognize where it came from? When we do our affirmations and they don't feel right or nothing seems to happen, it's so easy to say, oh, affirmations don't work. It's not that the affirmations don't work. It's that we need to do another step before we begin the affirmations. Repeated patterns show us our needs. For every habit we have, for every experience we go through over and over, for every pattern we repeat, there is a need within us for it. The need corresponds to some belief we have. If there were not a need, then we wouldn't have it, do it, or be it. There is something within us that needs the fat, the poor relationships, the failures, the cigarettes, the anger, the poverty, or abuse, or whatever it is that's a problem for us. How many times have we said, I won't ever do that again? And then before the day is up, we have the piece of cake, smoke the cigarette, say the hateful things to the ones we love, etc. Then we compound the whole problem by angrily saying to ourselves, oh, you have no willpower, no discipline, you're just weak. This only adds to the load of guilt we already carry. It has nothing to do with willpower or discipline. Whatever we are trying to release in our lives is just a symptom, an outer effect. Trying to eliminate the symptom without working on dissolving the cause is useless. The moment we release our willpower or discipline, the symptom crops up again. I say to clients, there must be a need in you for this condition or you wouldn't have it. Let's go back a step and work on the willingness to release the need. When the need is gone, you will have no desire for the cigarette or the overeating or the negative pattern. One of the first affirmations to use is, I am willing to release the need for the resistance, or the headache, or the constipation, or the excess weight, or the lack of money, or whatever. Say, I am willing to release the need for. If you are resisting at this point, then your other affirmations cannot work.
We made decisions in our youth or very young about what to believe, about what we were capable of, about who we are as a person, and that becomes the glass ceiling, if you will, that controls us.
All of you have targets, things that you're after. If you're going to get a new result, if you're going to grow your business, if you're going to be able to support your mom, if you're going to get rid of the anxiety, if you're going to be able to overachieve and not have all that fear inside of you, you obviously need to get a new result. You're going to have to get new action. You don't get new results with old actions doing the same thing. What human beings can do is amazing. What they will do is usually disappointing. It's not because we're not capable of it. It's because we don't have new actions because we get in certain emotional states that dominate us, like anxiety, like fear of failure, right? Like the fear of the loss of your mother as an example. So if you're in a state of fear, you're going to behave very differently and get very different results than if you were in a place of being courageous or bold or warm or connected or playful, any of those. For the point for your fear, and for some people, and I think in some cases, it's also a recognition of who I am and what I'm capable of. So for somebody whose life is already great, this is about, what if I could take on another skill that could create more freedom for my life? And just saying, I'm not going to go out and try and do it all perfectly right now. What I'm going to do for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to create a little ritual. I'm going to do one thing a day to condition my mind, right? So that I get strong, so I follow through. I'm going to read something. I'm going to listen to something. I'm going to immerse myself. I'm going to go for an intense jog, or I'm going to go lift weights, but I'm going to do it consciously to get in a state where I'm going to follow through. That's number one, because people follow through when they're in state. So the most important key to changing your life in any situation is to change results, you got to change behavior. But to change behavior, you got to change the emotional state you're in. When things are bad, people think it's going to be bad forever. When things are good, they think it's going to be good forever. And they're always wrong. Life's cyclical. If you got $1 billion and every day you live pissed off and frustrated, the quality of your life is called pissed off and frustrated. Right. But if you have nothing, but you're euphorically grateful for whatever you have, you're the richest person that you're going to know. He said, so it doesn't matter how much money you got if you don't have gratitude. Because I believe you have to condition it. You don't just hope that stuff shows up. Think about it in your own life. Haven't you had some area of your life where you raised your standard and your life has never been the same? You did it for years and you kept trying to change it and kept telling yourself I should. And then one day something happened. Something just clicked you over. Something took you over that kind of tipping point. And inside yourself you said no more. It was a very, very different experience, wasn't it? Something inside of you shifted, and what was a should became a must, and you've never gone back. Is there an area like that in your life you can think of? Again, did you ever smoke cigarettes? Did you ever eat a certain way, drink a certain form of alcohol, and then finally say no more, and you just don't go back? And notice this, it doesn't really take any willpower anymore. Because somewhere when we make this click, when we make something a must, we attach ourselves to it. It becomes part of our identity.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. You are your most valuable asset. Your life, your potential, and your possibilities are the most precious things you have. Thus, your great goal in life should be to fulfill that potential and become everything you are capable of becoming. Your ability to learn, grow, and fulfill your potential is unlimited. Today, people are graduating from high school and college in their 70s, learning new subjects and developing new capabilities. Your ability to learn and remember can continue throughout your life if you keep your brain alive, alert, and functioning at its best. Your most precious financial asset is your earning ability. Your ability to work is your primary source of cash throughout your life. You could lose your home, your car, your bank account, and everything you own, but as long as you have your earning ability, you can earn it all back and more in the months and years ahead. Your biggest investment. Most people don't realize this. They take their earning ability for granted, but it has taken you your entire life to develop your earning ability. Every bit of education, experience, and hard work that you have invested in learning your craft and developing your skills has gone into building this asset. Your earning ability is very much like a muscle. It can increase in strength and power year by year as a result of regular exercise. Likewise, the opposite is true too. If left alone or ignored, your earning ability, like your muscles, can become weaker or even decline because you have simply failed to upgrade it continually. In other words, your earning ability can be either an appreciating or a depreciating asset. An appreciating asset is something that grows in value and cash flow every year as a result of continual investment and improvement. A depreciating asset, on the other hand, is something that loses value over time and finally reaches the point at which it is written off, being of little or no further value. The choice is yours as to whether your earning ability is increasing or decreasing month by month and year by year.